Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am very excited for today's video because I'm going to be doing a full face of Lisa Eldridge products. So I really like Lisa Eldridge's products in general. I have a bunch of her liquid eyeshadows, I have a couple of her eyeliners, a couple lipsticks, a gloss, all of that. But there's a lot of products that she has that I've wanted to try. My birthday was about 2 weeks ago and I got some gift cards and some cash and all of that stuff, and I decided to put it towards a very large, very expensive Lisa Eldridge order. So I spent a couple $100, almost $300 on Lisa Eldridge products. Got a few things I've been really wanting to try, including some of her brushes, and I am very excited to try them out on camera today. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a definite soft spot for indie makeup and high-end makeup, obviously. And I tend to take a pretty analytical approach to my content. I try to make analytical, thoughtful content. So if that sounds good to you, I'd love to have you subscribe. I have new content every week. Okay, so I don't have any makeup on right now. Just showered a little bit ago. I do have some brow gel in, the one from Surratt, and that's it. Have a nice zit coming in, so that's fun. And I put a little bit of moisturizer and primer down, but that's it. This is my little haul. I've taken everything out of the boxes, but this is everything. I even got the new Liberty London bag. So I will show this off in a second. Let me just move this all over here. Okay, so what I got in the haul, I bought her foundation. So I've tried the foundation samples like 4 times because I've made little orders and gotten them multiple times. And I was really torn between shades 16 and 17. 17 is a little more just golden, but I went with 16 because I think it works better in the dead of winter, and 17 works better most of the rest of the year. Although if I was really tan, I don't think either would work, but because 16 is just a little bit more true olive, I think I can, adjust it as necessary. So I did buy the foundation in shade 16. I bought one of her liquid highlighters, which I've really wanted to try for a long time. I got the shade Solar, what shade did I get? Solar Light. I knew it was solar something. This is described as a sunlit apricot. I recently got the Sorcery palette when I bought the eyeliners. I bought 2 of the eyeliners and I will be using one of those today. I finally got Velvet Sorcery and the lip liner. This is the first time I've tried her lip liner formula. And then I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 items. A lot of money for 6 items, but you get what you pay for. Bought brush number 1 and brush number 8. So brush number 1 is her foundation brush. I really like the way these came packaged with these boxes, which I will probably keep. Brush number 1 is this. So it is a paddle brush, big, flat, but it's really like incredibly soft and really flexible. Like if I compare that to this paddle brush, this is just like a concealer brush. You can see this one is really stiff and dense. This just feels very different from any kind of paddle brush I've used before. And then brush number 8 is still in here because I have not used it yet. I have used the foundation brush. So it slides out from these. Brush number 8 is like a good universal eyeshadow brush. I think this is gonna be the shape I use most often. So the reason I wanted to get these, they are expensive. This was $50 and this was like $63. It's because I really love natural hair brushes. I have a lot of rougher brushes. That's most of what's in this little pile. And then I have a handful of Sony G brushes, and I am planning on buying some more Sony G brushes soon. But these are still handmade Fude brushes, Japanese brushes, but they're synthetic. And there are some brands coming out with synthetic brushes. Other Japanese companies make them. But I really wanted to see how these compare. I looked online and I only saw a handful of reviews, and a lot of people saying how great they were, how soft they were, but no one really saying how they really compare to natural hair brushes. I saw one person say they couldn't tell the difference, but obviously I won't be able to go in depth today because I've only used this twice and I've used this none, but I wanted to see how these compare. So I will be using these a lot over the coming weeks, and then I will give you some more thoughts later. But at first impression, these are incredibly soft. This feels like, let me grab, here's one of my Sonia G brushes. I feel they're equally as soft. This might be softer. So that tells you something. But really excited to use these. And this is also just amazingly soft. I think just as soft, if not silkier than this. This is a hybrid synthetic and natural hair, but you know what I mean. So very excited. And then the foundation, I got shade 16, like I said. I did wear this yesterday. I am gonna keep the box because right now it fits. I have like a small drawer bin thing with all of my Complexion products because I don't have that many. And although I'm running out, the highlighters and stuff don't fit anymore now because I've gotten a handful in PR and I bought some. But this fits in there with this, but barely. So if I rearrange things, I want to have the option to stand it up in the box. So I'm going to keep that. So like I said, this will be a first impression for some of these things and like a second impression for some things. And I will do a dedicated video on the brushes later once I've gotten my thoughts around them formed. So before I actually start doing my face, I did want to show off the bag. So this is a special limited edition bag for her being in Liberty, which is a store in London. You can buy this for like $60, or you can just get it free with a purchase of $150, which I definitely spent. It is really nice quality. This is really soft material. It's like a traditional, like she picked the fabric print out of the archives there at Liberty, and I love the pattern. And then it's silky. She said it's rotary made, like it's traditionally made fabric, so part of why it's expensive. It's also a big bag. Like this will be a really good bag for the amount of makeup I take on a trip. So this will be my new to-go bag. So I do have one of her bags from when my husband bought me some stuff for Christmas, which I do really like. It is small, so he used this when he went to Boston a few weeks ago, and it was perfect for the makeup he took. But for me, or when we're traveling together, it's not big enough, but this is significantly bigger. So it's the same height, which I appreciate, but it is a little wider. You can see it does go out a few more centimeters. I don't remember the exact measurements, but it is 1, 2, 3, 4, probably like 5 or 6 centimeters wider. And then it's significantly thicker. So it's like twice the thickness. So there's a lot of space in here. Very excited to have this. Okay, so I am getting ready to go eat dinner with my best friend, my husband, my best friend, and her husband. The 4 of us are going to dinner and a movie, so I need to get ready. So, like I said, my face is already primed. I used the Surratt primer. I've not used it with this foundation, so hopefully it works. It is like a soft focus effect, and then I do have a lot of moisturizer underneath. I do find you have to have very moisturized skin for this foundation, but then as long as you do, it just looks like perfect skin. And my skin with the Surratt primer just feels like silky smooth, so I'm hoping that helps. So I'm going to, I think I'm gonna start with the eyes in case I get any fallout. So I'm gonna use the Sorcery palette. I want to use, I think I'm gonna use Madrigal. I just want to wear that. And I'm going to use a couple mattes. I do really like the matte in here, but I don't really want to wear that today. So I'm going to use some mattes from this palette that Surratt just sent me. This is the Beyond Beige Quad. And I wanted to try this because they sent me some of their special shadows, like sparkly, like singles. And those are beautiful, but I hadn't tried any mattes and I really wanted to try their matte formula. So they did send me this. So you've got a light matte, a dark matte, and then 2 satins. These are very satin, but when you want that, it's nice. This is a really nice, basic, everyday kind of quad. I'm actually really happy to have it. This will be a good travel quad. But I'm gonna use these mattes. So I'm gonna put down a little bit of primer. I'm gonna use my NARS eyeshadow base, which I wanted to try, and then I was talking to, not Lisa Eldridge herself, although I have talked to her in DMs. We've talked about things like music that we both enjoy, and then her products, but someone from her staff recommended it and said that it's what she prefers. And I was like, well, it was already on my list to try, now it definitely is. And I've loved it ever since. I think it's my new favorite. So I'm going to use the number 8 brush. This is a really good, like, one side is a little flatter than the other, but it's still fluffy. I think it's like a good all-around eyeshadow brush. So let's see how it performs. I'm very excited to cover this red spot. Ugh. Okay, I've already used this eyeshadow with rougher brushes, so I'll kind of have an idea of how this compares, but I will do side-by-sides later and use it more. Picks up really nicely. And yeah, that is really soft. It does pick up product really nicely though. Yeah. Okay, I don't know if you'll be able to see in person, but or on camera, but in person, that just looks like a natural contour to my eye, which is what I wanted. I'm just kind of buffing it all over. That is really beautiful. I mean, I've used the shadow before and it was really pretty. I mean, I know it's a basic shade, but it's a really pretty basic shade. But this is just working. I don't want to fall in love with more expensive brushes, because then I'm gonna want another one of this. And I want the number 9, that's like fluffier. It's shaped kind of like this rougher brush, which is, you can see, much bigger. And I really want to try the pencil brush, the 14. So, I'm gonna get some like random Christmas money or something, and that's what I'm gonna buy. Because I am not lucky enough to get PR from a brand like Lisa Eldridge. But wow, I really want to do an in-depth, but comparing these to like the only synthetic brushes I have are from Sigma, but then I have Sonuji and Refer, and I have a one LH Cosmetic brush in here, which I do like. I think it is also really flexible and soft, and I think might be a good spot conceal version of her foundation brush. Okay, so I'm just slowly building product. I will use this with other formulas, of course, but right now this is, I mean, she calls it her seamless eye brush, and it's really giving me a seamless blend. I really like this. I want to really like it because it's expensive, and I don't want to have wasted my money, but I also don't want to really like it because it's expensive. I hope that makes sense. And I'm going to pick up just a little bit of the darker shade and put it right out here. You can see these are definitely a soft, buildable formula. I think it's the same kind of formula they use for the bronzer. They call it their slurry formula. Not a high impact eyeshadow, but a really lovely eyeshadow to work with. So if you like Viseart and like those kind of shadows that have to build a little bit, you might like this. This might be the softest eyeshadow brush I've ever used. Okay. I'm just wiping it off a little bit so that I can use it again under my eyes. That's really what I want for the base. I might add a little more depth or something later. And then I'm gonna go in with Magical. I'm gonna use Pat's Intensifies. I did get a little fallout the other time I used this shadow, but that could have been, I was in a rush. So this will help me avoid fallout. I do really like this. I think it's interesting. Like the mechanism is kind of odd. And it is, you know, just like a glitter glue or something. It's literally just mixing medium in like a stick form. So I thought before I got this that it was like a gel around this or something, but that little thing, that is the product. But I just find that it does help things stick like a glitter glue, but I don't feel it like a glitter glue. So if you're someone with really sensitive eyes like me, on sale, I think it's worth trying. I'm just making sure that I have it all over. Okay. Now, I could use a liquid eyeshadow, but I'm gonna go with this. So, picking up a little bit on my finger. I used a brush the first time, and I did get some fallout. Oh, it's so pretty. I know I have other shadows like this. I love this color in general, but it doesn't mean this isn't a really pretty version of it. And I love that so much. I really want more. Like, I know Cinnabar, I want Cinnabar even though it's definitely shades I already have, but I think, and I want Myth. But I think what I'm doing, I'm gonna wait, and then I'm gonna get Vega the second it restocks. That's really pretty. Okay, I really like that. I am gonna use a little bit of a brush and just try to even out a couple spots, like right here where my fingers don't want to reach. And I'm just pressing. Okay, so really liking the eyes so far. I'm gonna add some brown eyeliner, but I can do that at the end. But I'm done with the eyeshadow for now. Okay, now to do my face. So I'm gonna try putting the Elevated Glow highlighter under my foundation. So, big doe foot. I'm just gonna put it where I want a little bit of glow. That will go right there too. I'm just kind of seeing where the light hits me. A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. Okay. And I'm just gonna use the foundation brush. Really, really happy with it so far. I have used it a couple times now. I even used it with, this foundation, and I've used it with the House Labs concealer, and I used it with the Surratt concealer and foundation. I don't know if I think that video will probably go up after this, but I did do a video. I didn't use them on camera, but I did mention that I was wearing the Surratt. It's worked well with everything. It feels like I'm just painting on my face, which is actually something I like. But it's like flexible enough that you can really like go where you need. Really like the highlighter. It is a natural glow from within. It's not like super glittery or anything. I really like it. But most days that's what I want, so. Okay, time for the foundation. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up some of that with the brush and start buffing that in. So you can see it's a little lighter than my forehead. 17 matches my forehead better, but I thought about doing concealer before this, but whatever, I'll do concealer after. But once you cover up the redness in the middle of my face, that's not always there, but is there right now. It's like a dead on match, so that is why I chose 16. That was more than I meant to on, but you can see very true olive. I got a lot. This foundation does work best in light layers, which is what I was trying to do, but I accidentally stuffed the whole brush in it instead of just part of it. So I'm just going to work quickly in shearing this out. So I didn't need this foundation. Obviously, I have the Dewdrops foundation in 2 shades that they sent me. I have my House Labs foundation, which I really love. I have my Pat foundation. I have a couple, like the Kosas, I think I'm gonna get rid of just because I don't wear them very often. The Kosas because it's just like a textural thing. It's a little thick for me. I like a thin foundation, but this is also a self-setting. None of the other ones full, like truly self-set like this. And I really like that. I like that it's a natural finish, and I like that it self-sets. And it's a really good shade match too. I mean, I would expect a makeup artist like Lisa to have a good shade range that matches real skin. I'm gonna put a little bit down here just because I'm having some redness from shaving. And that is something I have to do periodically. So having something that self-sets and isn't gonna transfer onto my clothes, big perk. Yeah, it's just so flexible and soft. Okay, really liking how my complexion is looking. I'm gonna put a little bit of concealer. This is the House Labs again, shade 23 light medium golden olive. Really, really liking this. Don't need a lot. I meant to do it before, but whatever. I don't think I need any more around here. I think the Lisa foundation covered things up pretty well. And then I'm just gonna use the same brush. And I'm just gonna tap that in. I think it actually works really well with concealer too. And because it's pointed, you can really get a sharp line. With a rounded concealer brush, you run the risk of accidentally getting on your shadow too. But this brush is working really well. I still want the classic base from Sonia G, and it's good to have multiple that you switch around between so you don't have to wash it all the time. But I am very happy with my purchase of this, which, like I said, I don't want to be happy. I don't want to love it because it's expensive. I don't want to love it because it's expensive, but I also do want to love it because it's expensive and I bought it. I hate liking nice things. Okay, that's looking really nice. You can still see the glow from the highlighter underneath. Really like that. I'm gonna put a little bronzer on. I'm gonna use the Surratt. This is the Soleil Clair shade. I think the other one is a little more golden. This one's a little more neutral, but I do really like it. It's a big pan too. It is an expensive bronzer, but it's the same as their eyeshadow where it's that like slurry formula. I'm just finding that it just like effortlessly blends into the skin in kind of a soft airbrush effect, which I really like. I want to try Surratt's brushes as well. I think they're squirrel hair, so they're like extra soft and they're really expensive. They're like 100 and something a piece. But I don't know if Surratt would ever send me those in PR. If they did, I'd be truly grateful. But it is something on my list to try. Just pinching this rougher brush and putting a little bit on the side of my nose, a little bit of warmth back in. And I always have that dark spot there, like nothing covers that. I don't know what it is. I think I'm going to finish the eyes real quick and then do lips and stuff. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more of this shade and I'm gonna keep using the Lisa brush. And then just rubbing that underneath my eye. And I know some people might say it's not worth it, but I think really, like, I'll do a whole video on brushes, but I do think an expensive brush is worth it if you can afford it and you care about things like the softness, the way it picks up product. There's nuance to all of that, and I do think, for me, that matters. I'm gonna take a little bit of the dark shade on the tip of that brush. Okay. Really like that. And let's grab my pencil. So this is the shade Ground Coffee. I haven't done a full video on this yet, but I do really like these. And if you are someone that knows me, I'm very picky about eyeliner. And because I have oily eyelids, not everything lasts on me. I saw a few people say these are identical to Victoria Beckham's, and a few people said they didn't like them as much. So far, I only have one Victoria Beckham and 2 of these, but so far, this is better. Like, the ingredients list is very similar, but this is just like 1 or 2 ingredients off, and then those make a difference because this lasts all day on me, and the Victoria Beckham do not. So, so far, really loving this. So I'm gonna tightline with this and put on some mascara, and then we just got lips and blush left. So this is probably the softest eyeliner I've ever used. Like, you have to be a little delicate with it, but the softness, it's really creamy. It's really nice. I like it. I have this and Renaissance Gold, or Renaissance Gold if you are in the UK like Lisa, and really like both. Okay, so I just went ahead and curled my lashes and put some of my Surratt lash tint on. I really love this. I know I've talked about it a lot, and I do like their mascara, but this is perfect. I can do a light tint for every day. I can build it up. I built it up a little bit today. This is the best mascara I've ever used. I really love the Ismea. I like Pat's. I like the Tower 28 one a lot. I just used the Tower 28 the last couple days after, and like was like, okay, I should use that. I've only been wanting to use the Surratts for the last month or so. And after using this for a while, I hated the Tower 28. Although it is a little old now, so it might be ready to toss, and that might be it. It might be like clumping. But I was like, wow, this is not as nice as I remember. And it made me immediately want to use that again. Okay, so I'm gonna do lips. And then for blush, I do have a blush here, but I also might just use my lipstick. So this is Velvet Sorcery, both lip liner and Sorcery lip liner and Velvet Sorcery lip. I did wear this the other day. Already in love. I knew I would be. I wanted it last year, but it was like, I have a set budget every month that I can spend on makeup because I just don't make that much money. One, on YouTube and in real life. Although I did apply for a job recently that would change some of that. But, so I just like, when it came out, I just like couldn't do it. I was just like, no, I've spent too much. I can't spend any more for the rest of the year. Like, so now that it's back in stock, I bought it. I have worn the lip liner once, and I have done some swatches of my hand, and it is waterproof. Like, once it dries, it's creamy, but once it dries down, it is not budge. I do like that it is also a little more neutral and brown than the lipstick, so it adds that like little bit of contrast. What I tend to like to do is put lipstick on and then finish with the lip liner. So I will do that today. So this is Velvet Sorcery. So my lips are a little dry today, so thankfully this is a very creamy formula. It's just like the perfect cool mauvey brown. I just really love it. Like this and Meet Me in Berlin are my good everyday shades now. and then cinnabar for, you know, a little bit of spice. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take this lip liner and clean up the edges. Okay, really like that. Okay, I really like that. I mean, I wore it the other day and I really liked it then too. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of the lipstick. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand versus rubbing lipstick on my face. And I do have a brush here that I can use. It also feels fitting to, you know, wear Velvet Sorcery and Sorcery the lipstick. Or Velvet Sorcery and use Sorcery the eyeshadow palette. I really like that. I like using lipstick as blush. I think it works really well. I wouldn't say it's the longest wearing way of doing it, but for us going to dinner and a movie all within 2 blocks of our apartment, I'm good with it. Because there's one of my friends who is a drag queen in town does a like quarterly movie night. So there's the Northwest Film Forum, I think is the name. They have a little movie theater and she does camp classics basically. So tonight we're watching the Brady Bunch movie and she does a number beforehand and it's a lot of fun. Really excited. She did Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion, which is maybe my favorite movie not too long ago. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, I am ready to go. I just might spray a little setting spray on, but that's it. Okay, so this is a little longer than I meant it to be, but whatever. Really, really love this. So, roundup of thoughts. This is the second time using this. Really liking it, but I will have more thoughts later. This is my third time using this, 4th time using this. Really love it, want more eyeshadows. I think her Seamless Matte is like Natasha Denona's Cream to Powder, but even better. And I love that formula. I want to try the other matte formula. I just want to try more of her eyeshadows. Really liking this, second time wearing it. And I think it looks really pretty. This is the kind of highlighter I want on an everyday situation. I have fun ones for when I want fun, but this is my like everyday 90% of the time highlighter. Still really love the foundation. And actually, I think it looks really nice on the Surratt primer. My skin looks really smooth and just like, it still looks like skin, but perfected and smooth. And I think that's a winning combination. House Labs Concealer, really love it. Really love this lipstick. So happy I finally got it. Perfect fall winter lip. And I really like the eyeshadow. So let me know what you think. Have you tried any of these? Really like the eyeliner, forgot about that. And then I'm really happy with these brushes. I will keep using them, like I said, and report back. And I'm gonna do a full in-depth video like comparing these to Sonia G and Refer and the synthetic brushes I have. But that'll take a while. But second-ish, third impression of these. First impression for this, third impression for this. Very happy with my purchase. So we'll see how that evolves over time. So thank you so much for watching. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I love to talk to y'all, as always. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. It really, really helps. And I will see you in my next video.